So the reveal for Vanguard has happened, and the reveal was good. It wasn't anything great. I mean, the Warzone stuff was coolish, and then the actual trailer was okay. It wasn't anything great. It looked nice, don't get me wrong, but it was okay. But then literally everything else happened, and it was insane. Oh my gosh, the amount of information we learned today was incredible. Like, oh my gosh. And to not waste any more time, I think we just gotta jump into this. So the first thing that I think we should mention is the release date for this game. It's November 5th, so cool stuff. More than that, we also learned that this game is going to be on the Modern Warfare engine, which we kind of already knew, but it's going to be kind of upgraded to have a bunch of even better features that are to work with next gen. I'm not sure how that affects previous gen, but next gen at least is going to be looking crazy. Of course, there is going to be last gen if anybody was curious about that. But alongside with this, we're keeping all the stuff that we had before, all the cross-play, cross-generation, cross-progression, all that's returning. So all of the technical things are kind of just getting slightly better in terms of graphics, and everything else is probably going to stay generally the same. But with that, I think we should talk about all of the 4 different modes. And we'll start off with campaign, since that's the easiest one to summarize what happened. So campaign, everything we learned was generally from the trailer. And in the trailer, we learned that it's going to take place in all places during World War II. So this is going to be North African, the Pacific, and the Western and Eastern fronts of the war. And each time you play in a different area, you're going to be playing as a different character, which gets me a little curious if they're going to tie those characters all together in the end or not. I mean, they don't have to, but it's something that is interesting to me at the very least, so can't wait to see how that's going to play out. But now we get into the bigger stuff, first starting off with Warzone. So Warzone got a lot of good stuff. First things first is that Warzone is going to be on the Vanguard client. Thank goodness. Oh my gosh, I hate having a Modern Warfare's client on my console still. Like, it's humongous, and I just do not play it that often because I just don't generally like that game. So I'm glad to say that we're going to finally be able to delete not Vanguard. We're going to keep Vanguard. It's going to be on Vanguard and finally be able to delete Modern Warfare. But more than that, we are getting a brand new map for Warzone. So it's not just for Dansk, and it's not for Dansk reskinned or something like that. Like, this is a brand new map. We don't know anything about it. All we know is that it's a brand new map, which is something we love to see. But the big thing that, I mean, everything that we mentioned there was already big, but the somewhat of the biggest thing, I'm not sure how these really compare, but is that a proper anti-cheat is coming to this, and I'm sure it's going to be great. I mean, they probably wouldn't advertise it unless they knew it was going to be like something crazy, so can't wait to see how that plays out. Personally, haven't been playing too much Warzone, so I don't know how bad the hacking situation is, but it sounds pretty bad, so for the people who are dealing with that, it seems like that's going to be nice for them. But now moving on to multiplayer, because multiplayer is actually insane. Like, the stuff we are hearing out of multiplayer is actually crazy, because what we hear is that on launch there are going to be 20 multiplayer maps. 20. That's unheard of. Now, I will say that 4 of those maps are actually for a new game mode called Champions Hill, which we don't know too much about. I have people explain it to me, but I just honestly don't get it, so I'll just wait till a proper reveal of how they exactly works. So 4 of those maps are going to be exclusively for that mode, but then the other 16 are all 6v6 maps, which I think is tied with the most we've ever got at launch, which is just insane, because these last few years of Call of Duty, we've been getting less and less multiplayer maps, starting with actually the previous Sledgehammer game that I only had like 9 6v6 maps on launch. So it's insane to see that we go from that to 9 to having 16. That's just insane. So that's going to be crazy to see that. But alongside with that, we actually have a beta. Now, we don't have official dates, and I don't want to share that dates that are going around because I don't know if they're right or not, but we do know there is a beta that's going to come out, and we do know if you pre-order the game, you get it early, and also if you're on PlayStation, you get it early. So there's that there you have to keep in mind, so just in case you were curious about that. There is also a rumor of an alpha coming out before that, but I'm not entirely sure about that. Again, those are rumors, but just keep in mind there might be an alpha coming out even before that. So all that is pretty much all we know about multiplayer, which alone sounds insane. I mean, we have this Champion Hills mode, which is looking insane. 16 multiplayer maps. it's just looking beautiful. But of course, this brings us to the final one, and the one I really been wanting to talk about: zombies. Yes, zombies. Oh my gosh. So first things first, let's say it. The rumors are true. Treyarch will be head developing zombies inside of Vanguard Zombies, which is just insane to think about. First things first, that they're having, developing in another studio's game, that's insane. But more than that is that we're getting 2 years of Treyarch back to back. Oh my gosh. This may explain why, maybe Cold War season hasn't been the craziest at the same time, but hey, it's insane to see that we're getting 2 years of this. But you may question another thing about this, and is this going to continue in the Dark Ether story? The answer is yes, it is. And what it's actually going to be is a prequel, and what they say here, a precursor to the Black Ops Cold War Zombies story, which is very interesting because there's a lot of ways they could go off with that. I mean, just think of all the stuff that could be happening. I mean, they could maybe explain Eddie. I don't know. I can make a theory video on why I think it could be Eddie. We also do know that after the events of, I guess, End Station back before, like during World War II, when they were originally opening up the rifts and all that, we do know that the Soviets started taking in some of the scientists that worked there. So there's an option right there. I mean, there are just so many possibilities that they could take here, that they could explain different things here and there, because we do know the Dark Ether was involved with stuff in the time between the events during World War II all the way till when Omega reopened all that. We do know there was something going on there, but we just don't know what. So it's going to be exciting to see what they do with the storyline there, which I can't wait to see exactly what's going to be off. And I think after the events of DLC 4, they may give us an idea of what's going to be happening. But for now, that's all we know of that. But the last thing we do know about zombies is when we could expect to see a reveal. And what they say is expect a detailed preview of Call of Duty Vanguard as of Halloween's Eve approaches. So we could expect to see a reveal sometime in Halloween, which makes sense because they don't want to reveal too much before DLC 4 comes out, because DLC 4 is, probably going to have some implications for the actual Vanguard Zombies mode. So yeah, that's probably why they're doing it kind of late. But either way, that's just looking insane. And honestly, after everything we've seen today, I don't really know. This actually might be the most promising in terms of content that we've ever seen in a Call of Duty game. I mean, a brand new Warzone map with anti-cheat. We got a ton, the most multiplayer maps coming at launch, and zombies led by Treyarch, and hopefully we'll have multiple maps at launch, or maybe an Outbreak, or the the successor of Outbreak there at launch. And I just can't wait to see what Treyarch does with zombies. So there's just so much that just looks like they're doing right here. So I just can't wait to see more, honestly. So it's going to be a minute until we see zombie stuff, but I'm excited nonetheless. But regardless, that's going to wrap it up for this video. I love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on everything we talked about here today, whether it be the campaign, Warzone, multiplayer, or zombies. Any of those 4 modes, I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on. And tell me if you're excited for this like I am, or you have some worries. I mean, I understand if some people aren't as optimistic as me, but hey, I'm a very optimistic boy. So anyways, though, that's going to wrap it up for me. And if you guys did enjoy the video, definitely do all the normal YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, bell, share, and all that great stuff. But I'm going to go, and I'll catch you guys next stream, video, or whatever that it may be. And laters, guys.